A guy has been locked out of a $400,000 Bitcoin wallet since 2014. He tried everything. Firms that charged him hundreds of dollars each time, thousands of passwords. It's been over 11 years and he could not get access to his Bitcoin. Completely out of ideas, he tried one last thing. Here's what happened.
On May 13th, an ex-user going by CPRKRN, Superkern, posted a viral thread that pulled 1 million views in just a couple of hours. He'd been locked out of his Bitcoin wallet since 2014. He had 5 Bitcoin worth about $400,000, and he changed his password when he was high in college after 11 years and $250 per attempt commercial recovery services. He dumped his entire old college computer into Claude as a Hail Mary. He had 2 Macs, 2 external hard drives, exported his Apple Notes, his iCloud, his Gmail, his X-Chat logs. Claude found an encrypted wallet backup file from December 2019 that he didn't know existed. Then it debugged the open source recovery tool, BTC Recover. It identified that BTC Recover concatenates a shared key value with the user password during decryption. It tested 34 billion password combinations, then 340 billion through Hashcat. His total compute cost was $15, and the funds were swept the same day. So Nick Carter called this insane. Jesse Pollock and Laura Shin reacted. This is the first widely visible case of a general purpose LLM like Claude doing specialized like cyber forensics work, almost like it's digital archaeology. So let's get into this. Who wants to jump in?
I mean, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, to say the least.
I don't know. It got me thinking, there was all the drama last month about quantum. Google released that paper saying, hey, quantum's way closer than we all thought. And they use that ZK proof to prove that they'd done a thing that they didn't want to tell anyone about, which was pretty cool and scary. And then everyone's going, oh my God, what does that mean for Bitcoin and all these wallets with private keys that are, with lost Bitcoin? Who's going to recover them? So there's an argument to say, like, we're going to see a lot more of this. Maybe in the next 5 years, if that does actually happen, the bull case for quantum is just think how quick and easy it's going to be for people to solve this problem. And people with a bunch of funds sat struggling, maybe they'll be able to do something similar. So I don't think this is the last. I think this is the first of this kind of thing.
But did he share the all instructions? Like, because I read the thread and I was like, so what did you do? Like, the point is, he probably had this key phrase and password stored in the laptop somewhere.
Yeah, that's it. It's basically like he couldn't find, like he bought the Bitcoin years and years and years ago. And then he was like, oh, damn.
Yes.
I don't know.
But then how, like, what happened exactly with, like, how, what were the steps that he used with Claudio to get it back, to recover it? That's what I didn't get.
Good question. I have no idea.
So I read, and basically what he wrote is that he tried with a lot of different tools and other like BTC recovery stuff, but nothing. And he tried more than like thousands of passwords, and nothing happened. And then with this method, he was able to, but it didn't. The tweet didn't specify what was the actual process. So it's cool, but explain, like, what did you do?
I mean, this post got 15 million views. Have you seen that?
Yeah, but
That's wild.
I don't. Yeah. I mean, but
I think he must have come up with some kind of harness or some kind of like skill. It's like BTC Recover. I don't know what that is. It sounds like something he put together with some instructions.
from what I understand, he basically dumped his old college computer into Claude. It was like a last chance saloon.
Yeah,
Here you go.
yeah.
I've given up. He tried like literally trillions of passwords. Just goes to show how good cryptography is. Couldn't figure it out. So he just dumped his college computer and said, here's what I'm trying to fix. Can you fix it? Now, Claude found a wallet file in his laptop and was able to debug it using, I don't know what Bitcoin Recover's password logic thing is, but he was able to debug that file. And within it was a decrypted key. And then they converted that decrypted key, and he was able to then use that key to find the password to actually unlock the funds.
Okay.
But he would never have even thought to go and find this wallet file, because he didn't know the wallet file existed, to then think about, oh, maybe let me debug that and turn it into a password logic, then decrypts it. Like, it thought to do all of that itself. He just said, here's my computer. I give up.
Yeah.
Please tell me there's something in there. I think he had written on a notepad or something in his computer, like a password as well. So it was able to match the password to something else that he'd done, and that was why it was able to decrypt the key. Again, I don't know the exact details of like step by step what he did, but that's pretty cool.
That's cool, and I think this is a very good example of like using AI and your brain as well, because he was the one thinking, let me put my computer into Anthropic and into Claude and ask him to help. But then and he was too tired, like lack of ideas, and then like it's a like complementary brain basically that you have in this case. I think so. It's a very, very nice example, I think.
Yeah, I think that the point here is more about just the power of this thing, right? The guy tried everything. He had like the Hashcat thing, the Bitcoin Recover. He was doing Gmail, iCloud. He tried brute forcing it. He literally tried everything, and then went, screw it. I'm just gonna ask Claude if he can figure it out. And it was like, yeah, I can figure this out. Boom, did it.
Yeah,
that's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I've got a whiteboard diagram. I don't know actually.
Oh, lovely, excellent. Yeah. This is George's whiteboard week.
Here we go.
This is the best way. By the way, this is a hack. So there's a good reason for why I'm creating these whiteboard diagrams, and that's because it feels like right now OpenAI have thrown the most compute at generating these images, which includes them reviewing the information in the image, and it does like this like long chain of thinking. So what the outputs you get on this are better than if you asked it in text. I'm pretty sure. So like small hack.
That's a good hack. That's a good hack.
So like this is like to illustrate the point. And it's invented entropy and I don't know what that means. Basically, there's some estimate about, and I don't think anybody knows for sure exactly how many Bitcoin have been lost permanently. Because
17%, they reckon 17% of Bitcoin is lost.
So this OpenAI diagram seems to think that some of it is potentially recoverable. I don't know how they find this number, but the point is to illustrate that there's probably a small amount, like this cases like this guy. It's like, your granddad bought some Bitcoin and then he died and his computer's somewhere in the attic or something, right? So that kind of story versus dormant for 10 years plus wallets, and who knows, where that could go. What would happen? The real question that I always get to is what would happen if all these people recovered their Bitcoin in the next month and tried to sell it. So there's some FUD for you.
How much is it? How much is it saying? I'm just trying to struggle to look at it. How much is it saying is recoverable?
0.32 to 0.44% of total cap, which seems very specific. And let's just round it up to 1.
I mean, okay. Well, let's say it's 0.5%. Saylor has what, 5%, 4% at the moment, or something nuts, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I can't remember what percentage he has, and the guy's just buying more because now Strike is like taking over the world. So I fancy that to be eaten up by the ETFs and Saylor, personally.
Yeah, it's big enough. It's manageable enough. So yeah, it's probably, I don't know. This is like completely unfounded. It could be wrong, but this
is a classic case of AI told us something, so we're just going to believe it without questioning anything.
Yeah.
Haven't looked at the source. Haven't looked at where it's
I
come
saw
from.
21.
I was like,
21. That sounds right. 20 Audi mine. That sounds right. I assume the rest is correct.
But the problem is the AI has probably assumed the same thing. So
yes, yeah. So it's interesting to
Alright,
see
well.
what can happen. But yeah, cool. Good for that guy.
I mean,
You know?
yeah, just 400 grand unlocked. You know what's interesting about this too is there are asset recovery firms now that are like, uh-oh, if Claude can do this, do people
I
need
mean,
us?
I think that they are already considering to use AI, and they are already doing, if they are smart.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
yeah.
So
Maybe
The
this is a
point
great
is that
way.
now the people can, like this guy was able to do it alone without using these companies. So I
Yeah.
don't know.
He's not quite
So-
in 7-figure hell. He's in 6-figure hell now, this guy.
Yeah.
So he's going to have
I
to deal with it.
I was just so I didn't realize he was actually live on MTS yesterday. I've just seen, and he was basically explaining the story. So what he said, what it looks like he did, is he was feeding Claude all his old notebooks, all his college laptop files, literally everything he could find. He was just putting it into Claude and be like, I don't know what I'm missing. And it found the missing connection between like an old wallet file on his computer or on his old laptop and a password or a phrase that he'd written in one of his notebooks. And so he had 2 of the 3 things he needed. He couldn't figure out what the third thing was, and it figured out what the third thing was by using those 2 things.
and the password
I
was
don't know all the details, but yeah,
was
the
like
password was great.
420, fuck the police.
Yeah, lol 420, fuck the police. That's the best. The best bit of the whole story is he was stoned and came up with this ridiculous password, which is great.
Nice.
True degen for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so essentially we all wish that we could find a wallet that we forgot about with $400,000 in it, and big ups to this dude for sticking with it for long enough to be able to actually get this money back, because I think a lot of people would not. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm the only lazy person in the room. Let's move to our second story today, which is that Consensus threw a party at a strip club, and the industry is, I don't know. Some people are upset. Some people think that it's fine. Here's what happened. Consensus Miami wrapped May 5th to 7th. The official after party happened at a place called 11 in Miami, which is just a Miami strip club. So there were pole dancers, naked people, lap dances, etc. CoinDesk, Consensus, and MetaMask branding was there. Bloomberg ran a piece called "The Crypto Industry Throws a Lap Dance Party in the Middle of a Bear Market." Of course they did. LinkedIn took down the documentation post twice for violating professional community policies. What's interesting about this is that 11 actually hosted the same exact situation in 2018 for the North American Bitcoin Conference. So this is not the first time that this has happened. That backlash to the strip club of the North American Bitcoin Conference actually got public apologies within days. And there really hasn't been any kind of like major public apology that I have seen for this. So in 2026, after we had FTX, after we had years of this, like, oh, the crypto industry has matured, we have a situation on our hands here where we're hosting a wrap-up party at a strip club. There were some voices driving the backlash here. So Amanda Wick, she represents the Association for Women in Cryptocurrency, was a former federal prosecutor, called it horrifying in the Bloomberg article. Jess, the Web3 Jess, called it a massive step backwards. A Consensus MetaMask BD manager named Michael threatened to sue Jess for slanderous claims and said, "See you in court," in an X post. Consensus later said they weren't a paid sponsor. No lawsuit has been filed as of May 11th. The Wall Street Journal had previously described Consensus as like corporate sheen, and Solana Accelerate ran at the same time or close to the same time, and was widely praised as like actual substantive programming compared to what happened at 11. So guys, how do we feel about a strip club being the place where a crypto conference wraps up?
I I don't. Sorry, I would start since I'm the only woman here besides Ashley. So I have the right to start. I mean, I have a probably I don't know, unpopular opinion, but I don't see the point of like doing this whole thing for 2 weeks of a party where, guys, so we are in 2026. These places are places where girls, in my opinion, I hope and I think, that are working with their bodies, doing whatever they want, pretty well paid, in a environment which is pretty controlled, because I doubt that in this kind of big strip clubs people can do whatever they want with the girls. So I know that the message could be wrong, but I mean, it's 2 weeks that we are talking about it. In my opinion, we have other problems. And again, if I would never, because I don't have teeth. But if I was able to do a dance, a lap dance in a strip club and get a lot of money, probably I would. I don't know, like, yeah.
Yeah, I think I might too. Okay, well, so Maria is pro strip club for events.
I'm not pro, but I mean, I don't see this, big drama. I don't know.
So George, what's your take? You give us
I don't think that this is a uniquely terrible thing. I mean, like, yeah, it's like on the scale of things that happen in the industry that are bad, it's like pretty low on my radar. It's like, go ahead, whatever. I think if you get it all kind of in a big flap about where parties happen, it's kind of silly. It's probably not a big, if you attended this, you probably have no advantage or edge over someone who didn't attend it. I can almost guarantee that no interesting conversations happened at this thing. I can almost guarantee that no interesting or useful leads or business was done at this thing. Sort of drunk people. Was the guy who pissed on the bar also this place? Was that the same place?
Yeah, that was this place. Yeah.
Right. So like, this is people are not getting hired or like closing deals here.
But also at every other fucking party, guys. Because I mean, I love Rave, but which kind of deals are you closing at Rave? You are going there at 11 p.m. already drunk, probably, dancing all night. The message is different. I agree, but to be honest, again, we are now in a society where girls are allowed to do whatever they want, and if they want to be there, they just, like, why are we so pissed? I don't know, like,
you guys are so European. Oh my god.
So I was at Consensus. I was not
were you at this
party,
party then?
No, so I left the day before. I kind of thankfully now, but although I am intrigued to be like, I wonder what it was actually like. I mean, I've spoken to a few people who were there, and what's really interesting is a couple of people I spoke to, one of which is like, oh, I'm sober, so I don't even drink, was like, oh, actually, music was pretty good at first, and they had this like acrobatic show, which was really cool, and then it got a bit seedy and weird, and I left. I was like, okay, that kind of makes sense. But yeah, I think the pissing on the bar. Does anyone remember this literally happened? Was it 2 years ago? Was it a Solana thing? The guy was literally pissing on the Solana logo or something.
Yeah,
this isn't the first time this has happened.
Yeah,
he was like pissing on the logo, I think, while he was ordering a drink. Anyway, the people are people, and that's not what I get. I get why people are like, this is not a good look. So I was at the conference, and I can tell you the clientele that were at this conference, and it's not the kind of clientele I would expect to show up at Rave, is what I would say.
No, okay.
I think it was actually a really good. It was a very bullish conference. There was a lot of good mix of people in suits, people from Wall Street, TradFi guys, and also crypto bros. And there was everything. There was like Cardano next to XRP next to Galaxy. Like it was sort of an odd mix of the worlds colliding, but in actually quite a good way. I thought they did it quite well, and it was very well attended, and all of that kind of stuff. Funnily enough, because I left the day early, I didn't even look at what the after party was. To be honest, I don't intend to go to them anyway. But that's just, I'm an old man, so whatever. I don't have a huge problem with I think this is like the biggest club in Miami, right? Or this is like one of the most well-known adult entertainment clubs in America, as far as I understand. So I think they knew what they were getting themselves into. I'm kind of more depressed by the fact that there were literally like guys stealing the woman's tips off the floor. I don't know if you saw those videos, but I think you really know it's a bear market when guys in suits are stealing the strippers' money.
Yeah,
that's kind of that's a sign of the times. And so, yeah, look, obviously it was probably not great taste. And in hindsight, given the mess and all the uproar, obviously I don't think CoinDesk would do it again. And maybe MetaMask and some of the other brands whose name was plastered all over the walls there, and maybe they're going to rethink that next time. But in the grand scheme of things, yeah, it's a bear market. People love to just argue about stuff, don't they? So here's another thing to argue about.
Yeah. So Ashley, why are you saying that we are very European?
Yeah. So what's the European side of this? What's your take? You're like, this is outrageous. I can't believe it.
Oh yeah, because the American take on this is going to be completely different. Y'all have your nude beaches and your like things that you guys just go and hang out and chill with boobs all the time. Maybe
I mean, but what
literally all the time.
I mean, all of the companies sponsoring these were American, with American CMOs and American.
No, but I think that's the point, right? That's the point they're making, is that actually it was distasteful for that kind of community. So anyway, go on, Ashley. What's the American take on this then?
Okay, so yeah, this is in America we are very, very very Christian, very religious. Very,
you guys are too. You guys are too. Because I love Jesus.
You are too.
I go to the church every Sunday. Okay, this is
Hold on a minute. Maria literally lives where the Pope lives.
We are not as open-minded as you guys, though, about like
I don't know.
all of this, strip clubs and even like porn and things like that. It is very controversial in America still. There are people like, of course, OnlyFans women are doing great and everybody has their own perspectives on this. It's a spectrum just like anywhere else. But if most, like 95% of American companies hosted something in a strip club, they are immediately going to be seen as like very edgy, very very controversial, doing something for like clicks and attention. And while I personally agree, I love women like owning their bodies and being able to make their money, and I am personally like pro a lot of these things, it is going to inevitably be divisive for people. And so I do think that in an industry that is trying to grow up, that is becoming more institutional, that is becoming more serious, traditional finance is coming in and regulation is coming in. What the hell are we thinking with this?
I don't agree. I don't agree because you told we are growing as a space, but then you told we are thinking in the same way that we thought about these things 8 years ago, which is not like right, because we need to evolve also in the industry, and we need to evolve also on these things, guys. I mean, there are the favorite porno stars, my husband's porn stars are American, so it's just
wait. Hold on a
minute. What is your husband's job? Sorry.
My husband is working in a big company with
let's maybe not go there. But look, I think we can all agree. We can all agree it was in bad taste. In hindsight, I think we can all agree they regret the decision. Probably shouldn't have done it.
Yeah,
it would have just been safer and better if they just got a normal club that wasn't full of adult entertainment and strippers that they could take dollar bills to.
It's very hard
that would have been
to stand on business. Like if like Consensus tweeted like, I don't know how we ended up in this position. Like I don't know how our logo got here. And it's like very hard to to like defend like publicly,
Yeah.
like, in a nuanced
Yeah.
way, as we're experiencing live on this stream. So yeah, it's quite funny.
Maybe they did it on purpose to like.
I don't think it's a psyop.
make
It would be a
people-
cool psyop. Like, but
It would be a very good psyop. I mean, you're really hoping at hope that something goes horribly wrong, like someone pisses and gets filmed and falls over in it, and then everyone's talking about it. That's exactly what happened. That's a big bet to make if you're Coindesk.
It's like, wait, isn't that our competitor?
I have to say though, like,
but wait, hang on, Danny. This is exactly the tactic that was used by rival fish and chip shops in the UK. So what they would do is they put up the worst,
sorry, what?
the worst ad possible with their competitor's logo on it. So maybe this was actually this is a phantom event, but they put Musk's logo on the thing and represented themselves as better.
Do you know what? The funny thing about, obviously everyone's telling Solana how great they did it accelerate and how they didn't stoop this low and like their party was great. Hey, maybe there was like some conspiracy going on. We love a conspiracy theory. I don't think so, but still. I think that the biggest outcome for all of this was actually a pretty good conference. It was well attended. There was lots of positivity around it. And here we are 10 days later. We're still just talking about this after party and not talking about any of the outcome of that, which was like Michael Saylor gave a really cool speech that everyone went mad about. There was like really, really top quality people and hosts giving good talks. No one's talking about any of that stuff.
This replay is just sending me every time I see.
Slamming his head on the bar. I actually felt really bad for the guy. I can't remember his name, but someone said, "Oh, this is you," and then everyone's just been giving him so much shit. He's like, "This is not me." It's like too late. It's now you. So yeah. Anyway, we should move on.
Yeah, let's get on to the next thing.
Yep. Go into the next one. To wrap this one up, we essentially learned that Europeans are very open-minded and Maria loves porn. So
no, I don't watch. I don't even know how to do that. But the point is, don't be. I don't know the word in English, but like don't be hypocrite. It exists.
Very true.
Like
Moving on to Solana. Okay, so Solana entered the perps wars and bought some very interesting X handles. So May 12th, MoonPay tweeted, "Breaking, Solana has acquired another extremely rare handle on X. @perps joins @tokens, X402, and Capital Markets as new members of the Solana X army. The acquired handle has 2.2k followers, 1 following, which is of course the Solana account, joined May 2026, Solana logo next to the verified checkmark. The story is that Solana is competing in the perps DEX wars, and they are Drift, Pacifica, built by former FTX COO Constance Wang, oh boy, Jupiter Perps, GM Trade, Bulk Trade, and in October 2025, Anatoly Yakovenko accidentally exposed a GitHub repo for Percolator, a foundation-built Solana native perps DEX with sharded order book and MEV protection designed for tokenized stocks like Tesla and NVIDIA. But they've got this handle portfolio now of like perps, tokens, X402, capital markets. So they built infrastructure for tokenized stocks. They claim the phrase capital markets, which is also their tagline on Solana.com. They didn't just support X402, they also claimed the word. So they're trying to create, we think, some brand defensibility on the platform level, kind of similar to what Stripe has done or what OpenAI has done. Ethereum has several handles. So let's get into this. There's brand strategy here. There's king making here. What do we think? Should we start with George?
Yes. So this is a story about meddling in the ecosystem, which is good, by blockchain foundations and sort of this whole king making thing. And then it's also a story about this perps profile seems to be aggregating and just like creating a perps wars type story. So the impression and the feeling there's intense competition around perps specifically on Solana, and sort of trying to if you create that sense of competition, it makes it seem more exciting and interesting, and that's how you get more attention. You sort of bring everybody together into one place. So number one, it's a good idea for blockchain foundations to intervene and throw fuel on a fire. I think there wasn't necessarily a ton of, the reason this feels weird is because all the momentum on Solana has been around meme coins. And that's basically it, pump fun. So to then say like, we need to throw fuel on this other fire over here in the corner, that there's not a ton of perps activity on Solana, especially after Drift got blown up. Yeah, I guess they're trying to like compete, but they see the best strategy to do that is to put together this perps profile, aggregate a bunch of stuff, probably host some competitions and PvP sort of things. Who's going to get Toli's blessing? He's like the Pope, you know, going back to the religion theme. He's the Pope. He's going to bless one of these. Which one's it going to be? So yeah, I don't know. It adds a little bit of excitement, but it may fall a bit short if there's not a ton of activity there in the first place. So that is my take on the perp story. Is it a good idea for blockchain foundations to intervene in ecosystems? I think it is.
Yeah, I think so. I think brands want proprietary namespaces, and that's been true for a long time. I find it really fascinating that X has got to a level now where brands like this are realizing I need to own real estate within this walled garden, because I think there is like namespaces as in domains. And actually, it's funny because timing-wise, I don't know if anyone pays attention to the domain stuff. ICANN, who like run the global domain name handles, April 30th, so 2 weeks ago, kicked off a new auction for new top-level domains, the GTLD stuff. So not since 2012 have new domains officially been allowed. So when you see things like .web or .app or whatever, the last time they allowed new domains officially was in 2012. 2026 is the next one, and it's just kicked off. The auctions run for like the next few months. So .ai, .chain, .wallet, .whatever .coinbase, .eth, maybe not .eth because that's Ethiopia, but like .sol. All of these things are now fair game, and not as like on-chain ENS style domains, but actual real life web domains that people can search. And that's kind of interesting because there's like billions that goes into that, right? And registry companies that own those things, that own the top level domains, make a huge ton of money. I find it really fascinating that this war is starting in like a smaller context, but within individual social media platform. Just goes to show how valuable these social media platforms are, that people will pay just as much for like @perps on X as they would probably getting a .perps domain on the internet, because both things have such high value now. So I find it fascinating, and I think it's really smart and makes a lot of sense. And I think we'll see a lot more of it, and not just on X, but probably other places where, you know, everything is media today, right? Everything is distribution, everything is media. And if you have size and reach and scale, then people want a piece of it. And yeah, I think it's pretty cool. I actually didn't realize until recently, when all this blew up, I didn't realize that Solana had been sort of secretly going around buying up all these things. I think it's actually really smart. So yeah, I haven't actually paid attention to what's been going on the last week or so with the actual domain auctions. I meant to go and have a look, but you'll probably find that things like, I think .web went for like $200 million or $150 million last cycle. So like to be the owner of the registry .web, it's like if you're a Namecheap or you're whatever. So I think, yeah, it could be pretty interesting.
But how does it work on X, guys? Because for what I remember, that if the name is taken, you can't do anything. Now you can. Like
there's a marketplace now. Remember they launched a marketplace for handles.
But if if it's taken by someone who forgot that it's taken, because it happened a lot of time that people just subscribe and then never.
I'm not actually sure. Do we know what happens in that case? I guess they have a platform.
I think they unlock.
It's if it's inactive. Yeah. So like if it's inactive for a long time, I think they notify the person that's like, hey, by the way, they give them some like period of time. I don't know. I've registered my interest for @George like a long time ago. It's just some dude just got like the first name. So I don't know how much that would cost, to be honest with you. But I'm interested to know how much it would cost, because like
me
so,
too. Do we have this information, Asha, of how much they pay for this? No, there's
No, I don't have that. It's also, you can't access the market unless you have like a specific version of premium, I think. To be able to even access the handle market is locked behind payment.
I didn't know X402 was on Solana. I thought that was a EVM thing. Like, this is news to me.
It's a base thing, right? X402 was base. So it's like really funny that Solana have taken that handle.
This is confusing. Yeah. Okay. They just co-opted the name. Like,
it's very sneaky.
Land grab. It's real estate grab, right? Just go and buy stuff and then someone will buy it off you. Yeah, I mean, like I don't know if they're listening, but we've been trying to get the @Hype handle for literally years. And the dude just tweets the word hype once a month to keep the handle. And that's it. Refuses to sell it. We've been trying for a long time. We know who it is. If you're listening, you know who you are. Give us the bloody handle. We've tried to be reasonable, and he just tweets hype once a month on the end of the month, and that keeps the account active.
Just to be clear, this is not a
threat. Been doing it for years.
Yeah, we're not threatening you, but you know we will.
Yeah, this is not a threat.
The law.
Well, obviously, we've been trying for a long time, but
we'll take you to a strip club.
Yeah, I know a really good one in Miami.
We'll make it look like you sponsored in a strip club event, and
in Europe where it's completely acceptable.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, don't go to a nasty American strip club. It's just
maybe we can get Solana to buy the hype handle for us. We'll have a think.
All right, let's go to our last story. We have just a few minutes until everybody has to head out for calls. So let's talk about the reflections on 4 years since the Terra Luna collapse. So May 13th was the 4-year anniversary of this collapse. UST depegged starting May 9th, 2022. Luna went from $80 to 0.0001 in days. 40 to 60 billion in market value was wiped within a week. Bitcoin fell from 40K to 20K. Man, those numbers are looking real good right now. Do Kwon's trial was scheduled to begin early 2026. The standard 4-year retro is that 20% anchor yields were a death sentence. Algorithmic stablecoins were doomed. Smart money provided no signal. Novogratz had a Luna tattoo. Sequoia and Galaxy and Jump were all in. Unsexy lessons? I don't know. Sexy lessons? What are we going for here? What have been y'all's reflections since?
Honestly, I'm sweating just remembering it all. Like I've kind of put it out of my mind, and it's like I'm getting PTSD thinking about it all. It's been a while. I can't believe that was 4 years ago. It feels not that long ago. Yeah, kind of wild. I think probably the reason we are here today where we are is because of that. Like there was going to be a blow up of some kind. There was a lot of crime going on. There is hopefully less crime going on today. Probably still some crime. Definitely still some crime actually, but mostly by criminals as opposed to like crime by everyone. So yeah, I think it was a massive inflection point in the crypto. It's like 15-year cycle, and yeah, I just got cold sweats thinking of remembering that day. I got lucky. I got out of Luna like a couple of weeks earlier. I'd been listening to a podcast. I'm trying to remember what the podcast was. I was on a plane. I can't remember where I was going. Maybe it was like a holiday or something. I was on a plane. I was listening to a podcast, and there was a guy just shouting about how Luna was a scam, how the whole thing was going to fail, but everyone was like giving him shit. And I think it might have actually been Unchained. It might have been that Laura Shin had got him on to talk to him and sort of challenge him. And I remember listening to it thinking, kind of makes a bit of sense. Like in my mind, I was like, nah, I don't think that's true. But also, okay, I don't really like risk. And I've made pretty good, I got into Luna like $1 or something. I don't know, less maybe. So I was like, okay, I've made pretty good money on this. I think it's time to get out. I just remember thinking at the time, like, thank God, that's not me. But yeah, I know a lot of people that got really badly affected for a long time. So,
but
yeah,
honestly,
PTSD.
guys, I think this is still happening, like, and can happen again.
Okay, call it. Who's the next Luna? Call it.
Yeah.
No. So the point is, we have learned maybe to be a bit more aware, but read the white papers if we are big investors, etc. But still, there are multiple projects that get, like, ragged by their own founders, and we saw it even, like, we see it even now. Also, the point is, we have more and more projects, more and more stuff coming out, and so, like, be informed about everything is impossible, probably. When you are an investor, you probably take a further, step into informing yourself. But on the other hand, if you are an investor who is not crypto savvy, because I think a lot of, like, the most money lost lost for the Luna stuff was by investors who were not even crypto people, probably, and so now it's
I don't
the
know.
same.
I don't know. I
Yeah,
think there was a lot of people, a lot of just retail people that had all
yeah,
their
retail
savings
people, but
in Anchor.
yeah, but also, like, big investors were, like, impacted probably most.
Well, yeah, I mean, 3AC literally went bust, and obviously
Yeah.
there was all the contagion and BlockFi and God knows what else. But
Yeah,
I do think it was a big retail hit. I think.
yeah, but retail, it's more fragmented. Like, you, as a person, you lose less money, probably. I don't know. Whatever. The point is, I don't think it, like, it has changed that much, because now, like, the scams are just more smarter than before, and the scammer are
Well,
even.
That's why we need the Clarity Act. So,
Yeah.
I mean, like, the Luna story is it's fraud plus, like, a correct vision. Like, like, we need decentralized money. Makes sense. I agree. Look at all these cool sort of fintechy products. Like, cool, that looks really nice. Turns out the underlying mechanics were just, like, complete, like, never going to work. Total Ponzi. Whole thing blew up. But then now with, like, regulation and so on, it's kind of interesting. Like, if Clarity existed at the time, I mean, shall we get into Clarity? We have, like, zero time. Let's throw the whiteboard up just for a second, because this is, like, the topic of the day.
Throw the whiteboard up. Go on, tell us about Clarity, because we need some clarity.
Let's fly through it. So basically, the problem until now in the industry was the SEC and CFTC were regulating through suing people and taking them to courts, and instead of just having clear rules, which meant that all of these blockchain foundations have to have entities in Panama and run around in circles and be very worried about everything they do, or just lean into it and do as much fraud as possible and make loads of money, which is what Do Kwon did. And so what Clarity does is it creates clear rules. That's what Clarity means. So now you will have digital commodities. You're going to have basically SEC regulated investment contract assets. So, like, when it starts out, all projects will start out as SEC governed things. And over time, if they decentralize, become commodities. And then you have payment stablecoins. So now you have this new sort of way of thinking about it, and you know who is governing you and what the rules are and what your asset is. So this is important. There's loads of stuff about DeFi. There's a DeFi carve out. So if you have a front end, as long as you don't custody anyone's money, you don't need a money license, money transmitting license. But if you do custody people's money, then you have to, like, follow a bunch of rules. It's actually quite annoying. And the last thing is the stablecoin yield fight that people have been seeing in the news, specifically about the wording of what can happen with stablecoins. Can you pay people interest for holding them? They got rid of this wording, but actually it turns out that it doesn't. It's fine. Like you can reasonably pay people for holding stablecoins. I think banks have realized in the last couple of days, oh wait, the wording's still not strong enough, but it's too late. So it should go to the next stage today or something.
You're right. So we have learned something, which is
do you know what? These whiteboards
we need
are so
regulation.
good.
I love these whiteboards, man. They're so good.
Thanks, George, for drawing it. So what we learned is that we need regulation. And even if we love to be decentralized and etc., guys, we need regulations.
If Do Kwon tried to launch Mirror Protocol today, he would be nuked from orbit and set on fire. And I mean, like I saw the other day, someone, I can't remember, someone posted like, Mirror Protocol, haha. It wasn't this like visionary, but then it was like, yeah, I guess the idea is visionary, but of course, like the implementation of it was total scam, like did not work at all. So yeah, we might actually get to the version that works soon. Let's see.
Mirror V2 coming soon.
Yeah, man, that's what we need to launch.
Start a whiteboard on it. Yeah, look, I think that it's actually wild that it was 4 years ago yesterday. But I do think all of this is as a result. I mean, obviously, I think the FTX thing had a massive, massive impact on this as well. Potentially a bigger impact globally. I actually think when you talk to more institutional outlets or like more people in the capital markets, FTX is like still a massive hangover even now. Like even though we're 4 years later or 3.5 years later, it's still a massive hangover. People are still bucketing crypto in like this, FTX scam. So all of this is just part of growing up. I think it's really positive. Maybe they'll all go and celebrate at a strip club when it passes. Who knows? Probably, because that's what they do.
Wall Street.
Yeah, I think
Wall Street coded.
Yeah, something like that. I think maybe it was a necessary evil. Something was going to go horribly wrong when you have a lawless society and let anyone do anything. And it was kind of, if you think about back then, like the premise, the SEC and Gary Gensler and all this, like everyone was going so hard on crypto. There was really like an anti-establishment movement. It was very much like everyone else is wrong. We can do what we want. We should be allowed to fight and create things and invent money. And I think because of that, everyone turned a bit of a blind eye to some of the mechanics of it. And we've all grown up a bit and realized some of the premises still make sense. Like actually, we do still need sovereign money. We do still need some of these things, but we can also just do it in a way that isn't a scam and do it that's fair. And actually, that was not the way to onboard billions. This is the way to onboard billions by doing it properly. And yeah, it's a bit longer and a bit more annoying, but longer term probably has a much better outcome.
I think we wrap up on that mic drop. The $40 billion disaster actually accelerated institutional adoption and credibility for the industry, and Do Kwon is a hero.
Do Kwon was a hero all along.
A martyr?
I have a poster of him in my room. Okay, great.
Oh, great. Okay.
Maybe your husband has a poster of him in your. I don't know.
Maria's on mine.
What?
My...
Doesn't matter.
No,
on that note,
don't mention this to my husband. He doesn't.
It's
want
right. You're only live on like the largest social media site in the world. Don't worry about it.
No, he doesn't use X.
Oh wow, 1.7 million views. That's
other things.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
What's the hype? We will see you next week.
Goodbye.
Bye.